Welcome to Brood War Highlights. We have MBCGame Hero, who's hoping to improve upon last year's 9th place finish and make the playoffs this year. They've made their very first step along that long road. Last week they beat Air Force Ace. The second step is a little more intimidating. KT Rolster just missed the playoffs last season and are hoping for much more this year. They are 2-0, having knocked off Estro and Moonjin in Week 1. Their two top players, Flash and Luxury, are both looking sharp enough to lead KT to bigger and better things. They're slotted into Game 3 and 4, but first to Game 1. KT's 4GG versus MBC's Han. 4GG showing a bit of decline lately, lost to Sang Ho in Week 1. He's surely expecting to pick up a win from the young and inexperienced Han. The map is Fighting Spirit. 4GG, the Terran spawns at 11 o'clock, and Han, the Protoss, spawns at 5 o'clock. Han builds for a DT rush, and blocks 4GG's SCV from scouting by putting a Zealot on his ramp. 4GG builds his second command center inside his base and blocks his ramp with 4 Marines. The first DT up kills all 4 of those Marines right away. 4GG has no missile turrets and no academy. That DT chases the tanks up to the command center. He then comes down and kills the missile turret underneath 4GG's barracks. He then goes on to destroy the supply depot next to it, and eventually goons even come to reinforce. He starts his natural expansion and goes for Arbiter Tech. 4GG eventually gets those DTs out of his base, starts his natural, and tries to push in on Han's natural expansion. That battle goes on for quite some time, neither side losing very many troops, but of course Han is still building up for that recall. He brings an Arbiter right over top of 4GG's main, drops a whole bunch of Zealots and Goons all over his base. They are in there for the rest of the game. He starts his third. 4GG tries to push in on that natural, but Han gets there and defends it in time. He's now on his second and third base still. 4GG has the original recall still in his base. He's absolutely devastated. PGG's, Han wins the game. MBC takes the first game of the series.
Game 2, this is a PvP played on match point, with stats for KT spawning as the yellow player in the top right, Jaehoon, the red player for MBC in the bottom left. And after putting one gateway down in his main, Stats spawns 2 proxy gateways up here in the top left of the map, hoping to put a little pressure early here on Jaehoon. He comes down with his 4 goons, and a few damaged goons here from Jaehoon earlier in a skirmish. They go down pretty quick, and he manages to push right down into the main here. And Jaehoon forced to print probes off the line to defend this. He only has 2 gateways. He went for Robotech instead. Didn't see those proxy gateways. Caught a little off guard. A lot of probes coming out. And picking off a lot of probes. Some nice goon and some nice goon micro from both players. And nice probe micro as well. Really on the back foot though here, Jaehoon. Picks off a couple more goons. Trying to chase these goons out of his base. But he's lost so many probes. He's only got about 6 or 7 probes mining right now. And just too much damage from this early rush. And that's GG, folks. So that ties it up 1-1. On to the next game.
Game 3. Flash is coming off 2 decisive victories over Riley and Quanro. He's facing Hyun of MBC, who's coming off a bit of a lackluster win over Reach in Week 1. The map is Tornado. Flash spawns at 7 o'clock, Hyun at 1 o'clock. Flash goes for a fast expansion into Marines and Medics. Hyun goes for 2 hatch mutas. The first wave of mutas doesn't do much damage. Flash is well prepared for it. Little bit of conflict, but like I say, the muties don't do much damage at all. First real clash comes down at the 5 o'clock expansion of Hyun, where Flash runs past the lurkers that are hatching on the ramp. Not quite blocked, so he gets through there, but the mutas come back and take out all his Marines. So Flash tries again a few minutes later. This time he kills the lurkers that are at the top of the ramp. He comes down and he takes out that whole expansion, killing many of Hyun's drones, all the ones that are down there. Hyun rebuilds at 10 o'clock and goes for a Greater Spire. Flash builds some Wraiths, then they clash in the middle of the map. Flash goes for that Defiler, doesn't get it under the Dark Swarm, and Plague goes down on his Wraiths. He starts his 3rd command center and then heads up north to irradiate some of those Guardians. He manages to take out a few Scourge and a couple of the Guardians, and doesn't lose any of his Science Vessels. Then, hunting a Defiler back to the 2 o'clock expansion, he loses a bunch of Marines. They clash a little bit in the middle while Flash gets his dropships all the way up into Hyun's main. He does a bit of a doom drop here with Marines and Medics, brings in the Wraiths for support. He takes out just about all of Hune's main, killing the Defiler Mound, the Evolution Chambers, all the tech buildings there, including the hatchery. Eventually that gets mopped up, but Flash has another drop ready, goes and hits the 10 o'clock position. With 2 dropships, there's a few lurkers there for support, so he can't get right in there, though he does manage to kill most of the drones in the process. And a little bit of exciting play here from Flash. He brings up another drop from the bottom, unloads it below, then comes up from behind and takes out those lurkers. He eventually finishes that whole 10 o'clock expansion off. Then he goes up a little later, drops in front of Hune's natural expansion, irradiating just about everything in sight, but a plague goes down on the whole drop. He picks it right back up and just takes it into the main, losing a few dropships along the way, but manages to get enough Marines and medics in there to do some more damage, take that hatchery out again. Flash is now on to his 4th command center, irradiating everything in sight. Hune manages to pick off a few more science vessels, but he's only on 2 bases now, as another drop comes up the map. Hune GG's. Flash wins the game, looking very sharp this year. It is 2-1 for KT Rolster.
Game 4 is being played on Outsider between KT's Luxury and MBC's Light. Both these players are undefeated on the season so far. And Light needs to pick up a win here for MBC to force this to the ace match. This game starts pretty standard, with Luxury going for a 12 hatch, and Light putting his barracks down, blocking his ramp, but he doesn't actually get it blocked in time. In comes the drone, sees what it needs to see, the SCVs on gas, so he quickly puts down Hydra Den, techs up to lair in preparation for Vultures and Wraiths. And there's the factory. Light is actually putting down a command center as well, hoping to expand, as well as his starport. Now, really nice bit of heads-up play here from Luxury. He spots that Vulture coming out, and quickly moves his Hydras across the map to try and conceal them from Light. But Light knows what's up. He sees there's not enough Hydras there, starts searching around the map, spots them right up here in this mid-right corner, and quickly retreats to his base. Knowing he's going to face a bit of pressure here, he starts a bunker up right outside, right up on top of the ramp there, and starts placing mines. Still in a bit of trouble though, because these Hydras are going to not outrange the bunker, but they're far enough back that they can start chipping away at the factory and at the depot without taking any damage. So he's forced to bring out SCVs to repair these, waiting for a tank to come out and force these Hydras back. But the Hydras quickly morph to lurkers, and that's going to be trouble for Light because he has no engineering bay. In the meantime, though, he sneaks in a Vulture, picks off a few drones, but that's just not going to matter too much because here comes Luxury. Starts pushing in here, trying to take the ramp. Big mine goes off, takes him down, trying to get lurkers up to the top of the ramp. Gets him up there, burrows him down. eBay is still not done for Light here, and he's in a lot of trouble. Bunker quickly goes down, and big trouble here for Light. SCV's coming out, trying to block the ramp, but no dice. They go down. Tank goes down. In come the lurkers, and this game is over. Luxury takes this. KT takes this whole match, and Flash and Luxury are both 3-0 on the season, and this KT team is 3-0 on the season, and they are looking very strong, folks.